FearScape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time. Who is the Slenderman? Coming to the FearScape Media Network, FSMN's first ever mega October network crossover event, The Slenderman. Featuring 3 of your favorite network podcasts covering the Slender Man in all his slender glory. On October 1st, you'll hear Ghosts in the Attic, Bodies in the Basement, covering the Slender Man stabbing, where 2 12-year-old girls lured their friend into a forest and stabbed her 19 times in attempt to become proxies of the fictional character, the Slender Man. On October 6th, FearScape Paranormal Podcasts will be covering the legend, lore, and creepypasta of the Slender Man. And finally, on October 12th, join the Misters of the Dark as they cover the 2018 horror film Slender Man, just in time for the Halloween season. Go to fearscapemedia.com or wherever you stream your favorite FearScape Media Network podcasts. Happy Halloween! Coming to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown, your ghoulish hosts for an evening of terror, Stefan Gearhart and Lance Wayne, the Misters of the Dark.
Good evening, dear friends! Welcome to another terrifying episode of Misters of the Dark, the greatest horror podcast in the history of horror podcasting. As always, we're being directly to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown. I'm your co-mister, the man with no name, Lance Wayne.
And I'm your headmister, Lord Stefan Gearhart, blah, 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 Lance, come here. I kind of did a bad thing.
What now?
Well, you see, what had happened was after our recent tragic viewing of the 2018 film Slender Man,
Yes, as part of the FearScape Media Network mega October crossover event. What of it?
Yes. Well, you see, I couldn't help but notice the sexy, lean physique of the title character, and wanting to shave off a few pounds myself, I may have logged onto the old internet Reno and
what?
Well, I sort of invited Slenderman over.
You dope.
What? I thought he was the male equivalent of Skinny Girl.
Oh, Stefan.
Yes.
Stefan.
Yes.
Stefan.
Yes.
You've helped me out of many a conundrum. I suppose I owe you one.
Oh, thank the dark gods. Oh, Lance, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's just get through this review, and I'm sure I can come up with some kind of solution by the end of the show.
Fantastic. Perfect. Sounds good. So, okay, we are talking about Slenderman because it is part of the mega October crossover, November, December event. Man, whoever wrote that made it really, really long.
Yeah, they did.
But as
Fuck
part,
you.
Yeah, probably that other Stefan that's on FearScape. But as part of this, we're part 3, so we are the finale, which is suiting since we give people their life finale.
Yeah, and this is the Mistress of the Dark era of podcasting.
It is 100%. So we've got we're going to be talking about the 2018 film Slender Man. But if you haven't heard parts 1 and 2 yet, we highly recommend going back. You can go to fearscapemedia.com.
I don't recommend it. Just
I
listen to
do.
this one.
Go to Ghosts in the Attic, Bodies in the Basement, where Anna and Lindsay are talking about the 2014 stabbing of Peyton Leitner, where the two girls that were her friends stabbed her, blamed it on Slenderman, saying that if they didn't do that, Slenderman was going to kill their family and all kinds of stuff like that. Which, by the way, we are not reviewing the movie that was made about that event, Beware the Slenderman. Yeah. I kind of wish we had been doing that one instead.
I would have rather watched a dead raccoon on the side of the highway fester.
I've seen both of these movies, and Beware the Slenderman, while not a horror movie, is a far superior film. Anywho,
anything is far superior to this. The Room.
Well, that's the greatest movie.
Well, The Room, it's apples and oranges. But
yeah, so that's part one. If you want to learn about the attempted murder of a 13-year-old girl and by her friends, check out Ghosts in the Attic, Bodies in the Basement. FearScape.
And I kid friends. I highly suggest you check out Bodies in the Basement, Ghosts in the Attic. Did I say it right?
Flip it and reverse it.
Did I flip it? Yeah, okay.
That's okay. I always call you Lance Wayne, the man with no name, but it's the man with no name, Lance Wayne. I've known you my whole life. Well, your whole life. And but yeah, so check out Ghosts in the Attic, Bodies in the Basement. And then for part two, FearScape Paranormal Podcast is covering the lore and legend of Slenderman. So getting down to the nitty-gritty of the creepypasta as well as influences of where Slenderman picked up its influences from other ancient traditions and lore. They talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the silence on there. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I thought that too. In the look of them, isn't there like a Doctor Who?
Yeah. Actually, I think the Doctor Who one is called. I think they're called the Silent. I can't remember. They're both very similar. The Buffy one and the Doctor Who ones, they're both very similar and they're both super creepy, which I would have preferred either of those designs over this movie's design. But anyways, so check those out, fearscapemedia.com, or you can simply go to youtube.com. There's a playlist set up for the October crossover event, or just stream wherever you're at. So, but yeah, so we got the apparently the short straw here and had to cover this amazing film, and by amazing I mean horrible.
Yeah, I can't even be like sarcastic or anything. It was literally one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I've heard this. I remember when this first came out, everybody just bashing it and thinking it can't be that bad. But I even have written here. I took notes. And I literally have written here, I don't even think I was 10 minutes into it. I wrote, I'm not looking forward to this.
Well, to give you an idea of where we should have already known, the director, Sylvain White, his first American film that he directed was the threequel, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh my God. Was that direct to video?
I think, I don't even know. It was in 2006. It had none of the original cast. He has done some other ones. He did The Losers and he did Stomp the Yard. Those are pretty well decently.
The Losers?
Yeah.
Is that the movie with Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it?
Yep.
Oh wow. So he's done some studio, like.
Yeah, he's done some decent stuff. But
I don't know how. Let's not go that far.
He should not have directed horror. But anyway, so that should tell you right there. So for those of you who don't know, Slenderman is a 2018 American horror film written by David Burke, based off of the creepypasta of the Slenderman. The film stars Joey King, Julia Goldani Tellis, Jazz Sinclair, Annalise Basso, and some more, with Javier Botet as the title character. This came out, was released in August of 2018, and grossed $51 million worldwide, but received negative reviews up the hey.
What was the budget for it?
Let's see. Are you going to show me the budget? I don't see a budget, so they don't even want to talk about it.
Because I would when you said 51, I was just wondering if it was a bomb or not. I always assumed it was a bomb.
Yeah, I don't see. You know, it's funny because a lot of these pages, oh, there it is. It had it says 10 to 28 million.
That's a stretch.
That's a huge,
wow. That's a
big difference. Like that's the difference between Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
But
I mean, regardless, I guess it was a
I guess it made at least twice what it what it spent. So whatever,
depending on 10 or 20.
Yeah. And we'll go on to talk about some of the effects of the film afterwards, because I want to just jump right in and get this over with.
Yeah, because
if there's any of our listeners that like this movie, find another podcast.
I always say everybody's welcome to our dilapidated mansion. It doesn't matter where you come from, whatever, blah blah blah. But yeah, I gotta agree with you. If this is your taste, please, we're not for you. It's not.
Here's what I'm gonna say before we even talk about this film. I thought all the actors did a fine job. I thought the script was decent. It was a classic slasher flick. It's whatever. But the special effects were so awful to me. All of the scenes with Slenderman were so god awful that it made everything else just suck.
I didn't think there were any redeeming qualities about it. I'm sorry, and I hate knocking actors and stuff, but I didn't. I mean, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's just get into it.
All right. So we're assuming you've listened to the legend and the lore. So you know Slenderman likes to steal children. He likes to eat children and kill children. Shit like that. So movie opens in a high school where we meet four best friends, Haley, Ren, Chloe, and Katie. Pretty sure Chloe is the girl from the new Sabrina show. She's the best friend that has the witch powers. I haven't watched all the Sabrina shows. You should totally finish it. Good.
I've watched the first maybe 5
so good. Maybe we'll cover it sometime. I really, really liked it. I actually was not a fan of the 90s one, but I loved this one. But anyways, so they approach a group of guys to ask what they're doing that evening. They tell the girls that it's top secret because, boys in high school do top secret stuff.
Yeah. Don't want to get cooties.
So like, ooh, totally do. And I'm like, listen, these guys that they're hanging out with were not the guys that were doing Bloody Mary bullshit. We were.
No. Yeah. We were definitely cooler.
But the jocks and stuff were not doing this. So this is where I'm already like, you are French and you don't know American kids at all, but okay, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even have written down, like I said, I'm not too far. I can just tell from my notes, I'm not too far into this movie, and I already have. These girls are already annoying. I know. You discover that one of them is pregnant, right? Is it? I'd swear, man. This movie, I almost, remember?
It's dropped really lightly. Yeah. Because she's talking to her parents. So one of the girls is talking to her parents, and the parents like, so we heard that. And I can't remember if it's Chloe or Katie.
I don't
is
know.
The pregnant one. I don't either, because they just drop it and act like it never happened.
Remember how you were with the Romero film we covered?
Amusement Park?
The amusement park. And you were like, I cannot fucking remember anything about this movie. This is kind of how I feel. There's a couple of I remember the really, really, really fucking dumb parts, but outside of that, I'm just drawing a complete blank.
Yeah, well, and I don't think that's your fault in any way. I legit think that the script was probably written, and then a director or a producer came in and poorly edited a script, or stuff was filmed and they poorly cut it out for time or shit like that, because there's stuff that's being given exposition in the beginning here that's never really referenced again. Yeah. Like, it seems like a really big deal that this girl is pregnant, and then it's never mentioned again, I think, except for at one point someone's like, so your boyfriend likes to have sex, huh? like, or something like that. Like it was dropped
that.
so lightly. But anyways, so we've got Ren then picks up Haley up for the night to go to Katie's house along with Chloe. At that point, Lizzie, who is her little sister, is like, I want to go. You promised me that I could go with you guys sometimes. I really want to go. She's like 12 or 13, looks like.
Yeah.
And of course, she's like, not this time, sugar. We doing something scary. So, don't come by. That's not what she sounds like at all. But anyway, so they decide to go to Katie's house along with Chloe, and they hang out in her basement while her dad, played by Kevin Chapman, is passed out drunk.
Before she leaves, they're like, so what are you girls going to do tonight? And like jokingly, the girl goes, we're going to drink vodka and talk to boys.
Oh, yeah.
And then like, like she says it's sarcastic, but then when we find them in the basement, they are drinking vodka, talking to boys.
Pretty much. I just rewatched On the Airplane the other night because I just came back from Kentucky from the Fright Fest horror convention, and I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one. And I'm like, that's essentially what Johnny Depp does and Tina does and Heather does.
Oh, like I have it written here a couple of times how much this movie rips off Elm Street.
Yeah. But yeah, so her dad's upstairs, passed out drunk. He's worthless.
Hell yes.
And that's why there was this part of me, because I can't remember that if Katie was the one that was pregnant, I'm like, are they insinuating she might have been raped by her dad? Because it's insinuated her dad was some sort of abusive. They never really said whether it was physical or
this movie. Don't give this movie the fucking satisfaction of going into deep shit.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They drop these things so quickly.
God.
Anyways, they're in the basement there because dad's always drunk, so they're never going to hear him. So the girls then discuss that they find out from one of the girls that the guys are trying to summon the creature known as Slenderman. And they discuss that it is a monster known through the internet that takes children. So pretty much at that point, everybody's like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard of that. Pretty sure I've heard of that.
I fucking hated this. I even have written, so you summon him via the internet. That is so fucking lame and stupid. It makes no sense because they're showing these pictures of the Slender Man like back in fucking medieval times.
I know. It's so stupid. It's like it's trying to force down your throat that this is an internet creepypasta.
Yes.
Like, but we got it.
The internet. Oh my God. Think of the whole stretch of humanity, the dawn of time. How long is it? The internet is a fucking termite. It is a speck compared, we have not had to just,
God, do you remember that movie? God, I can't even think of what it's called now. It's like, it was way ahead of its time because it was like right when the internet first came. It was like fear.com or something like that. I think Kiefer Sutherland might be in it.
I've heard of it.
Just one of those films that was way ahead of its time, trying to essentially say that monsters are in the internet. But anyway, so they do that. They talk about the lore and what everybody knows about it. One of the girls shows, hey, there's these videos that are online that show you how to summon him. And so the girls close their eyes as they wait to hear the tolling of the bells as they watch this video.
I thought that was fucking stupid too.
Yeah, really dumb. If there's one thing I've always hated about movies is how just fake their websites always look.
Yeah.
It's like, do you guys not just get a normal graphic designer to just design something that looks like an actual website?
And I don't know. And listen, this is the only time I'm going to give this fucking movie the benefit of the doubt. But maybe it's supposed to be kind of like a dark web thing.
Maybe.
And so it's very bare bones and,
Sure. I mean, it's not like we're ever hired on the dark web.
Never. Even though they were the misters of the dark.
Damn right.
They were just not the misters of the dark web.
That's that's good.
I have my moments.
But yeah, so they watch this video, and they're just like, okay, well, that was dumb. because I think only like one girl actually really watched it or whatever. But a week later, the girls go on a field trip to some random ass historical cemetery in some random ass small town that they're in. I think they're in Massachusetts.
We're kind of skipping because I even have it written down. Did you like, which I don't, like I said, I'm not giving this movie the fucking benefit, but did you see, like, whenever you watch the video, it's like a bunch of flashes of shit, and you get the Illuminati.
Yes.
The Illuminati fucking symbol or whatever.
Yes,
what was up with that?
Yeah, they created some sort of symbol to represent the Slender Man, and they never explain it. They never talk about it. But yeah, there's that again. Whoever edited this fucking script, again, giving the movie the benefit of the doubt that it was someone editing someone's work instead of just a really shitty writer. Yeah. That there's all this stuff that you could see are laying the groundwork for what could be a pretty cool movie. It could have been a pretty cool teeny bopper slasher movie. But I'm when we get done, I'm talking about why I think a lot of shit got edited.
And I bet we have the same thoughts too about that. I think it would have worked better as a which I mean it's the basis for the show, but would have worked a lot better. And I think didn't they discuss this a little bit on I'm gonna say it wrong again.
Ghosts in the Attic.
But where about Channel Zero?
They did, which I laughed because I hope you're listening, Anna and Lindsay, because I laughed so hard because they were talking about the Channel Zero creepypasta. And then they were talking about, I think that there's a show that's an anthology show that's built on creepypasta. I wish that I could remember what it was called. I'm like, you guys literally just said the name because which is what the name is an homage to, is the Channel Zero creepypasta. So they called the show Channel Zero, and I laughed because the Candle Cove thing. So I laughed so hard. I love when you can't remember something and you've just said it, and it you wouldn't have never thought it because it feels foreign. But yeah, that Channel Zero is good, man.
I think this would have worked better as a Channel Zero.
Yes.
Season.
I seeing this spaced out over 6 to 10 episodes, I would have much more enjoyed.
Yeah.
I would have much more enjoyed for sure. Yeah. 100 freaking %.
Well, they know what they're doing over on that show. Well, not now because it got canceled or whatever, but they know, like I said, they know how to handle their shit over there.
They're stupid for canceling it. That last season with Pretzel Jack was my favorite.
Yeah.
Pretzel Jack was creepy as shit.
They were all pretty good seasons, honestly.
Anywho,
I'd rather talk about anything.
I know. Movie. I'm like, we got to get through it or we're going to be on here for 4 hours talking about other things. So they go to this cemetery. Katie all of a sudden becomes spooked because she sees something in the trees, aka obviously skinny sexy man. Slender Man. After a while, she just straight up disappears. And the whole class is left there for hours until the police show up to begin searching for her themselves. And so we know that Katie's now gone, but nobody knows why except for us, the viewers.
Yeah, we know it was sexy skinny man.
Right. So then later on, Haley's in her room with her sister Lizzie when they hear a thumping sound coming from downstairs. They get scared. So Haley goes to check it out like an older sister should. And it's Katie's dad outside.
Yeah.
Wandering around some teenage girl's home.
Yeah. But he's hammered, obviously. What does he say? He says something like, "Did you get her into the occult stuff?"
Yeah, did you get her into the occult stuff? Did you make her a Satanist?
Yeah.
But asking if Katie was with Haley, he gets mad, accusing Haley of getting Katie into some occult business and tries to attack her. The police arrive and Katie's dad gets arrested just as Haley's parents are outside and her father's yelling at him, blah, blah, blah. So Haley goes with Ren. They go to Chloe and they go to Katie's house to investigate. This was funny to me because it's so never would have happened this way, but whatever. So Ren goes to the front door to distract Katie's dad because they know that Katie always used to sneak in through the back door, so it was always left unlocked, and her dad never used it. So
I know about sneaking through the back door.
Me too.
Woo!
But yeah, so it was always unlocked, so they knew. So Ren goes up there to knock on the door, and basically is just like, I just wanted to see if you're okay. And I'm like, I guess he's out of jail. Like, I don't know if he got arrested or what, or if he was just like, hey, you just attacked a child and you're drunk. Go home.
Yeah.
Go home.
Walk it off.
Walk it off, pal. We know you probably may have done some horrible things to your daughter, which would mean you're probably our number one suspect, but go home.
Go home.
Go home.
Just sleep it off. You'll drink some black coffee.
Yeah. But instead he's like, I loved her so much. Do you want to come inside? And Ren's like, yes, I do. I'm like, bitch, do not say yes. Your friends are trying to sneak in that back door. Say, how about we get some fresh air outside? Like, so already I'm like, well, this is dumb.
Yes, I didn't question the logic of any character in this film because I just wanted it to end.
Yeah. So the other two go in, they go to Katie's room, they take her laptop, and then they all leave. And then they get together, they look into the laptop, they find other videos of Slender Man encounters. Which some of these Slender Man encounters were far better than the film.
Yes.
Like, I would have rather have seen the movie about that little kid basically saying, fuck you, Slender Man. And he's like 8 years old and his ass gets snatched up. I was like, yeah.
Just the whole film of like a found footage type, just a bunch of random scenes. They would, oh God.
Would have been much better. But anyway, so they see all these videos, which I laugh too because they're all on Katie's computer. Okay. Her dad's a fucking drunk, which means they don't have very much money. Their house is small. Yet I'm looking at all these videos, and each video is 1 to 5 gigabytes a piece. I happen to notice it. And there's like 20, 30 of them. I'm like, your computer is not holding all this. You got a cheap computer, no way. Because I know you got all them Justin Bieber songs on there.
Oh no, but Stefan, did you notice? I even wrote it down. That Sony made this movie because every time they show a fucking camera or anything, they gotta show that it's Sony.
Spider-Man.
I'm surprised you didn't pop up.
Which oh God, which is so. Say Sony to me when we get to the final Slender Man scene. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Because I will forget. So anyway, so they are looking through a number of these videos, like we said. They start to read Katie's messages on a very generic messenger that God only knows what it's a messenger to. They didn't even try to make up a name like Slender Chat or Purple-It. Nothing. Like
SexySkinnyMan.com.
Exactly. It's just a gray chat.
Yeah.
Thing, not even on a browser. It's just its own thing. But she's been talking to someone with the handle AlleyCat93. Katie'd been messaging her about how to deal with Slender Man. And what I found interesting is there's no helpful hints on how long the passage of time is, because the movie makes it feel like they did Slender Man on Saturday. On Monday, they went on the field trip. And then Katie's gone. And then either Monday night or Tuesday night, they sneak in and steal this laptop. But this shows someone who has been researching for far more than 2 days before she gets abducted. I mean, this looks like 6 months worth of research.
I'm not even. They just, whoever wrote this or directed whatever, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Which also
again means that the other girls should have been hit by Slender Man before this.
Exactly. You want to see a good film? I'm just going to throw this out there. You want to see a good film that kind of messes with your sense of time and stuff, and you never really know how long the characters are. It came out right before the pandemic hit. Gretel and Hansel, is that what it was called?
Yes, boy, that movie's fucked up.
Yeah, They did a way better job. I just want to, like I said, talk about anything else.
That movie was fucked up. Don't even get me started on Gretel and Hansel. I still have nightmares about some of that. That was messed up. It was good. But anyway, so they're talking to Alley Cat 93. They find out. Hallie then sends a message to Hallie, whatever the hell her name is, talks to Alley Cat 93 to ask what they can do to get Katie back. And Alley Cat basically is like, y'all fucked. He's watching your ass. He demands a sacrifice. He demands that they must give up something they hold near and dear to them. Implying so at first I'm like, is this like the fucking Renfield of Slender Man? Because the way she's talking, it's like she works for his ass. That's the way Alley Cat felt to me in these initial messages here, was that she was like, oh, he's watching you. He's already chosen you. He's coming for you. The only way you're going to appease him is by sacrificing something near and dear. Ha 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 ha. Not like, listen, you guys, run now, but have something, it didn't feel like that at all. No. Which later on we find out was the case, and it makes no sense. Yes. But this movie doesn't make any sense. No. So they decide, hey, let's go into the fucking woods and blindfold ourselves. And
I even have written down where is it? This ritual makes no sense.
None. They were not told how to do it unless they just cut out that part of the initiation video thing. I'm not really sure, but they decided to go into the woods. They've all got like personal items. They're all stupid, especially freaking Haley's, who's is just a missing poster of Katie. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah,
get out of here. But Ren says she's been doing some research on Slender Man, which again, I apparently thought this was like 20 minutes after they did this. But apparently this myth must have been a couple days later, because Ren's had time to do all this damn research. Yeah. She did this research on Slender Man and tells the other two to put on the blindfolds and to not take them off, even if they hear something. And of course, because clever writing here, Chloe takes hers off and she runs screaming because she thinks she hears or sees Slender Man. And then she actually comes into contact with him. And so this is our first real look at Slender Man. And it basically looks like he has a flesh colored sock on his head.
Yeah. And because the whole Slender Man thing is he wears a suit and tie. Mm-hmm. But the way they did it was like the suit and tie. He's not wearing a literal suit and tie. It's like they're just markings on his skin.
Yeah. Like the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
Yeah,
and it's like, and the face, like, look, I know Slender Man has no face, but nothing I have ever seen has showed it to be smooth, like The Question or what's her name from Dick Tracy.
Yeah. Oh, No Face. I think it's the name.
I think it is too.
But it's Madonna. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, spoiler alert. But yeah, so I don't know, but I didn't like it because at the same time, it wasn't smooth either. It was just like lightly textured, and it looks like they just didn't have the budget to smooth it out. So it just looked like a fucking balloon. Like it just wasn't good. It's put some, that's why I said like the silence or the whisper people or whatever the other fucking people from Buffy and from Doctor Who, like give some ridges or like some things and just leave out the fucking eyes and nose and mouth.
Yeah.
And give some creepiness to it because it just looked dumb. Yeah. It looked poorly put together. And now knowing they had $10 to $28 million, I'm like, did y'all just spend it on that final scene? Because I think you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
is stupid.
I wasn't scared by this at all.
I almost feel ill remembering this film and talking about it. I just.
Yeah, me too. But she freaks out. Yeah, she freaks out. Haley and Ren find her which another thing that made no sense. Her friend gets up, runs and screams. They don't. They just sit there and wait a bit. They wait a little while and then they're like, we should go get her.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I heard you fucking running and screaming, I'm up. Because either A, I'm trying to save you, or B, I'm trying to save myself, or both.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I told her no, because you already don't know if this is real. You already don't know if you trust. We haven't gotten there yet. So you're still in the skeptical point. So go save your fucking friend.
These Stefan, these characters, they're not written like real people though.
They're negative. They're negative 2-dimensional.
Yeah, they're literally just. I even have. I'm sorry, I keep going back to the notes, but I literally have written down here. Where is it? Things just happen in this film. They just do. Have you ever seen though? I mean, I've seen movies before where it's just like. And how can I explain? Do you get what I'm saying at all?
Yes.
It's
no.
like,
one. That's why I laughed.
Like
it's 100% true.
Yeah. It's not like a story. It's just things. Just you're watching it and boom, boom. Things just happen.
Okay.
They just happen.
Well, and then very, very, very predictable things also happen. Like I already knew that one of them was going to take their blindfold off. I was sad it was Chloe because I love the actress. And I've only ever seen her in Sabrina, and her character is way more badass. And so I was kind of expecting that. Not happening. And then I knew that she was going to lie about it. So she comes back and they ask her if she saw anything, and she says no. And she was super chill. And she's like, I lost my shoe. Sorry. And I'm like, okay, you're dumb. You legit just saw Slender Man, and you're not going to tell your two friends who all three of your best friend just got taken, obviously, by the thing that just attacked you. Got no patience for you.
I know.
Got no patience for you.
And another thing about this fucking movie, I don't know if it was just the TV I was watching it on or what, but was it just like shot so fucking dark you could barely tell what was going on half the time?
I had to turn the brightness up on my tablet all the way. And I was sitting in a dark area.
Yeah. I couldn't tell what the fuck. Not that I really cared, but I could not tell what the hell was going on half the time.
Yes, I agree. So that was not just you. It was not just you. So Chloe stops coming to class. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
At home, she sees a video on her phone from the point of view of someone going through her house. Now, I thought this concept was cool. It was interesting because she's getting a FaceTime chat or whatever, a video chat. And it says from unknown. So she smartly presses OK. And then she sees her house, which we're just apparently supposed to know it's her house because they didn't do a shot outside of her house to establish that was her house. But whatever. But the thing is moving towards the door. And I expected it to open the door because obviously it's got a camera in its hand, in my opinion. But it goes through the door. So I was like, interesting. You surprised me. But then I'm like, wait, so does Slenderman have a phone, or does he just have power of the internet? Wait, is this Lawnmower Man? Like,
oh my God.
That's what I'm wondering. But I did like because it surprised me, him going through the door. That did surprise me. Slenderman appears in her room, starts to choke her. She looks over in the mirror. Her own hands are on her throat, which I thought was a weird move.
I didn't even catch that. I must have coughed or something.
It was like, so are you establishing that Slenderman is just in people's heads, or that it cannot be corporeal?
Now, I do remember they do say, maybe it was a little earlier, maybe it's a little later, but they say something like that Slenderman is like a virus. He gets in you.
That's true.
And I even wrote down, and I was like, so he's fucking Freddy Krueger then. Because, that was the whole thing with Freddy versus Jason, that they were trying to contain him and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. You're right. I forgot about that. But yeah.
Good luck editing this fucker, because I'm like just yelling.
Sees her own hands on her throat. Ren and Haley later visit Chloe's house. And she has her eyes appeared sunken. She has essentially gone crazy because of Slenderman. So she didn't kill herself, I guess, because when she saw in the mirror that it was her own hands, that made her go insane.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very, again, it's not explained very well. So Ren goes to the library later on to try and find information on Slender Man. So we're actually seeing some research happen. So the lights, of course, they'll go out immediately. She's left alone.
Yeah.
She turns on a flashlight on her phone, sees Slender Man lurking in the shadows. He goes near her, tries to touch her, or does touch her. This causes Ren's face to disappear. I would have liked this if I didn't hate the smooth face thing.
Yeah, I mean, I even wrote like that. It started out interesting and then just ended horribly, a lot like most of the things in this film.
Yeah, because
it also reminded me a lot of It.
Yeah,
the library scene in It, whereas the library scene in It is very good and scary and interesting. This is just stupid.
Yeah, and it was like, and then I couldn't tell. It's like putting the face on her, is that causing her not to be able to breathe? Is that like what's happening, or is she just like no face on Dick Tracy?
Again, this movie just does stuff.
I don't know, and I didn't like it because
things.
Her fucking flesh balloon of a head looked worse than Slender Man's flesh balloon of a head.
Yeah.
It looked even cheesier, and I'm like, God, if you guys would have just put some fucking Klingon ridges on there, it would have looked better.
Something.
Jesus, man. But she's bouncing all over hell, going crazy. And then she stumbles into one of the library employees, and all of a sudden she's normal again. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So Haley is then approached by one of the jocks from the beginning, Tom, which is her crush, to see if she wants to hang out. They do. While he talks to her, Haley thinks she sees Slender Man in the bushes. So Ren and Haley have an argument over Haley hanging out with Tom and avoiding their Slender Man issue, which I agreed with. I'm like, you're going to go have a fucking date while all this shit is happening? And Haley then goes to Tom's house that night where they try to hook up, but Haley gets freaked out by nightmares.
Let's elaborate on this a little bit.
Yeah, I do, because I want to say the best part is that she throws it back in her face like, what do you mean you got fucking track? Or is that later? Like,
yeah. But like, okay, this girl goes to her boyfriend's house or whatever. Is it just me, or is the girl acting like she has never been in a house before?
Oh, I know. She's like, oh.
She's like looking around the house. Like,
what is this? What's that? That's a mantle. Ooh, a mantle.
What was the direction of this?
Ooh, like, you know who she was like? Was the blonde girl from Pink Floyd's The Wall, the movie, where she's like, you want to take a bath? Because she's never been in a giant hotel room before. And she's like, oh my God, look at this bed.
She acts like she has never seen like walls before.
Especially though, she's like, oh, so apparently you like music.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, apparently, like, they're in the living room as if this kid lives there by himself. This is his music collection.
Yeah.
And of course, the kid's like, oh, well, it's my dad's, but yeah, I like music. I'm going to play this sexy rock music that has no words. Check it. And so, of course, they start making out, which again, I'm like, yeah, bitch, you've got two friends that are fucked up right now, and you're trying to fuck this dude.
I got to tell you, though, the make-out jump scare was hilarious.
Yes, so funny.
It was
so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad.
It was like a Tim and Eric sketch or something.
It was just again, it's like, you have a budget. Where did it go? It's like all they did was slightly like skew Tom's face.
It was
like
terrible.
It didn't even.
It was
not even skew. I mean, like, it's like they just took two pieces of film, laid them over the other, and then just kind of moved them apart a little bit. Like, it wasn't even like
so bad.
I was like, is this 1996? Like, what is this? And it just looked so goofy. It didn't look scary at all, but she screams anyways.
Because that's what you do.
So at Haley's house, though, the little girl, Lizzie, the sister, she ends up having a major panic attack and gets hospitalized. She yells to Haley, he has no face, he has no face. And meaning that, oh shit, she's seen Slenderman as well, because Haley ran home after this thing with Tom. So
yeah.
So she's freaking out. Haley looks into Lizzie's laptop, which, boy, they love just getting into people's laptops. They see that Ren took her into the woods to make contact with Slenderman. Now,
Yes.
I'm at the same time, I'm like, Ren, what the fuck were you thinking?
Ren is the puppet master. Ren is pulling the strings.
Ren is your classic dark character, right?
Yeah.
She's
I wrote that, honestly, out of all of them, she annoys me the most.
Yeah, but she's like trying to be more of the Fairuza Bulk or the Chloe Grace Mortiz, and she always kind of plays those characters. But yeah, I'm like, what? So you couldn't get with your friend, so you're gonna take her little sister? Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Idiot. And so yeah, so she goes to Ren's house to confront her. Haley does, because, ooh, you did not do this to my sister, which now apparently she believes because Tom's skewed face proved things to her. But the door's open. She goes up to Ren, like, the door's just open. So she goes on into Ren's house, like, oh, yeah. And she goes into Ren's room. I'm like, are any of these parents ever home besides Katie's dad, who's just sleeping drunk?
Yeah.
But anyways, she goes up to Ren's room, finds a bunch of information gathered on Slenderman's victims. One of them she discovers was driven insane, was named Allison Riley, aka Alley Cat 93. Yeah. Now, can we talk about how dumb this reveal is? So she pulls out the asylum card, basically the file on Allison here, and it's listing her date of birth, it lists her name, her parents, and then it says user ID AlleyCat93. Who puts a goddamn user ID on your file at a lunatic asylum? Like,
maybe it was like another alias or something.
I guess if she's messaging people that way, they know.
Ignore me, because I'm not giving this movie any fucking credit for anything.
Okay, but yeah, so AKA we learned that Alley Cat, and at this point, this is where I'm like, wait, I thought she was the helper of I keep wanting to say Candyman, of Slenderman.
I don't know. Oh my God, can we talk about Candyman?
We should have. I wish we would have.
Can we talk about Candyman?
Hey, people, I wish we would have done that instead, because Candyman, the new Candyman's really good. Anyways, it's really good.
You know who I'd like to show this movie to? Joe Biden.
I was about to say someone you hate. So I got a few people in mind, but why would you want to show it to Joe Biden?
Because he's so scatterbrained. I just think he would get really... I think he'd find this very amusing. I think this movie is kind of shot and edited, I think, like he thinks.
Like his brain thinks?
Yeah.
So he'd be like, well, let me explain it to you, okay?
Yeah, they used to call them tornadoes.
Yeah. Anyways, so at this point, Haley then is looking for Ren. She realizes that Ren's about to jump out the window. But Haley pulls her back inside. Ren feels super guilty for what happened to Lizzie, but tells Haley that Lizzie came to her with interest in Slenderman before they found out all this stuff. So she says, hey, we were just doing it for fun, just like we did for fun. I didn't know. I'm super, super sorry. Ren then tells Haley that in her research, she's realized that Slenderman doesn't want their stuff. He wants them. At that point, Slenderman then pulls Ren through the window with his tentacles. Now, I want to say the legend and lore doesn't always involve the tentacles. Sometimes he has extra arms. Sometimes he's just a Slender Man. But if I was going to make a horror movie about Slenderman, I too would use the tentacles. So
yeah. Well, and they got don't they technically they got that Dr. Octopus copyright or whatever too, so they good. throw that in there.
I said, tell me Sony when we get to the final scene.
Okay. I'm just trying to make, lemonade out of lemons or chicken salad out of chicken shit.
We're getting there. So Haley then runs into the woods to face Slenderman herself. When she sees the creature, she tells him to take her so that Lizzie can be okay. Slenderman tries to grab her, but she runs for it.
That's what I did.
So you're lying.
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay, take me. Ah!
Yeah. I'm kidding. Take backs.
Yeah,
Can I do take backs? But he uses his tentacles to move around like a spider. So I do want to say this is where I think they spent their budget, because this was the best looking iteration of the Slenderman in this film, was the giant spider. I thought it looked the best, but however, Sony, it looked so much like Dr. Octopus running. It looked exactly the same. They had him hanging just like Doc Ock. I almost wonder if it's like Disney, like how they used to steal from their own cartoons and just redraw over them. That I wondered if they took the old Dr. Octopus scene from Spider-Man 2 and then just refilmed the CGI over the top.
Who knows? I wouldn't put it past them, man.
But it looked good, though. I mean, I gotta say, it looked good. It was the one.
Well, Spider-Man 2 is a fine film.
But this was the only special effects piece that I liked in this whole thing, was that spider running. Maybe because I don't like spiders, but I thought it looked good. And because you didn't get close-ups of his stupid flesh balloon head.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, he ends up grabbing Haley and pulls her towards him. And then something really, really weird happens. And I don't ever remember this, and any of the lore and listeners, if you're listening, and I missed this, please give me the Reddit link where they talk about Slenderman turning into a fucking tree.
Turning into a tree.
Turns into a tree. And then Haley becomes fused to the tree. I'm like, why does he let some, like Chloe and Allison, just go fucking crazy, but eats others, apparently, like Katie and Haley? I don't know, but she becomes fused to the tree until there's nothing left of her, and I just thought that was really weird. And I'm like, are you gonna stay? Is he feeding? Is it a feeding thing? What is it? Because the interesting thing is, and the one thing that wasn't covered on FearScape, was that they talked about the Pied Piper of Hamelin being probably an inspiration for Slenderman as well. And I'm like, okay, but he was stealing the kids to get revenge. And it's like, none of this was explained. It's like they just assumed that you already knew who Slenderman was because you're 13 and
you're I'm on like, the internet all day.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, so her younger sister all of a sudden wakes up in the hospital screaming for Haley. And she's realized that her sister and her sister's friends are gone, and the movie fades out.
Well, and then she has like a stupid monologue, like over.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
I even wrote, I was like, who is she fucking talking to?
And how is she talking if she's in the tree?
No, the sister does.
Oh, it was. I couldn't tell who it was. I couldn't tell who it was.
It was the little sister, but still, who is she fucking talking to?
I don't know.
This is the first time they do something.
I'm like, could they have at least just shown her on a fucking subreddit or something, being like, tick, 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 and that would have made a little more sense. But yeah, it was like, she's just basically like, Slenderman leaves enough people alive to leave the story out there, and people are dying, and so that makes the legend grow even more.
God.
So that's.
I will say I enjoyed
the movie.
And I'm not saying this to be, but I wrote the end credits were more interesting than the film.
100% agree.
Because it was more of kind of what you were talking about earlier, where they're watching the clips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was more kind of like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if like the side clips and all the found footage stuff was kind of put together like an assistant director or something that probably should have been directing.
Yeah.
So that's the movie. Let's talk a little bit about some of the bullshit here. about this
Well, this was
movie.
just honestly, and I mean, I know you can say this about a lot of movies, but this one I feel it's a little bit more of this or whatever.
Mhm.
But this was just a fucking cash grab. It just was
100%.
You know,
but it's weird to me that it was a cash grab, given the fact that 2 years or 4 years prior, the stabbing happened. And at this point, the court proceedings were happening that year when this came out.
Yeah.
The court proceedings had been in trial for a year or so, trying to decide the fate of the two girls that did the stabbing. The father of the victim, whose life was nearly claimed, spoke out against this film, citing how they felt disgraced by Hollywood making a film that led to tragedy. You know, and it even says during post-production, Sony and Screen Gems were reportedly nervous about releasing the film because of all this, the negative publicity surrounding it, as well as negative responses to early test screenings. So there's two things that should have just said, you know what? Let's just put this straight to DVD or some shit.
Well, I don't even think it showed in the town that the murder.
Oh no, I was going to talk about that too.
The stabbing.
I was going to talk about that. Yeah, well, but this caused like Sony to release the film with like no promotional materials.
Yeah.
I think they dropped a trailer and that was it. Like they really didn't put out a lot of posters. They just kind of was like, well, we spent money on it. Let's just, see if we can get some of it back. But yeah, movie theaters in most of the areas of Wisconsin where the Slenderman stabbing stuff happened refused to show the movie, said that it was insensitive to the little girl and her family, even though the movie was not a portrayal of the actual events. They just didn't care. But it says that, so back in 2016, 2 years before this came out, Sony had started developing Slenderman. Of course, people believe that the character was created by Eric Knudsen. There's still people that disagree with that, but they started working on it as far back as 2016, which tells you 2 years after the stabbings made huge headlines. They're like, we need to make this fucking movie. Yeah. Prior to the release, the producers shopped the film to other distributors, and they weren't really able to find anyone until they got Screen Gems. And Screen Gems then, like, somehow it says edited a ton to make it PG-13. They cut these scenes over fears of public backlash, but to me, I'm like, make it rated R so that the teenagers are the ones not going, the teeny boppers. Yeah. Like, that's the reason people are mad, because they're like, they don't want other teens seeing this, because look what happened, because girls read Reddit. What are they going to do when they see this movie? But they're like, oh, we can't do this. Let's make it PG-13. So they apparently, according to Bloody Disgusting, cut a ton of the film. So there's our proof right there. I didn't even know that. Cut a ton of the film, resulting in transition issues, among many other issues. Like, just good Lord, man. Let's see here. Reactions, of course, were just absolute awful, saying that apparently Sony decided to take a traditional low budget horror route. And I'm like, that's giving it too much credit. I don't ever want to say, because there's some great low budget films. There are.
That's what I was thinking too. I just, and I mean, you don't need a dummy like me to say this, but it's just like, we've had people on here before that, are kind of indie, not studio, that don't have a studio backing them up, that make good films. And yeah, they don't always have the money to make it look, you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Here is a fucking company that put how much, 10 to 28 million behind this piece of shit. We've been bumped into some people at the con. We didn't get to check. We didn't get to check out any of their films because we were fucking super busy all weekend. It was a fucking blur. Mm-hmm. But just people that really have a passion, and just some of the scenes and some of the posters and stuff like that looked a lot better than a lot of the fucking Hollywood.
And again, look at the original Evil Dead. Hell, look at his student film. of the original. What is it? Into the Woods or whatever he called it. That's even better than this.
Yeah.
So this movie got released August 10th, 2018. I think it was maybe in the theaters, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, because it was already released on digital HD by Halloween. Like it was already, it was digital HD by October 19th and DVD and Blu-ray by Halloween Day. Like they were like, just get what we can out of it. Just get what we can out of it. So, so it also competed against the Meg and Black Klansman, which the Meg was 1,000 times better, even though the Meg looked like a freaking Sci-Fi Channel original movie.
Yeah.
Black Klansman, great movie, but not a horror movie, but it is super great. Man, this film was just absolute trash. I don't even want to read reviews on it because everybody just killed it. It says that I will give this one. David Elric of the IndieWire gave the film a D. Good job. Writing a tasteless and inedibly undercooked serving of the internet's stalest creepypasta. Slenderman aspires to be for the YouTube generation what The Ring was to the Last Gasp of the VHS generation, but there's one fundamental difference that sets the two apart. The Ring is good and the Slender Man is not.
Yeah. And I don't know. Do you think Slender Man's the kind of character that can carry a film?
I mean, he's tall enough.
Oh, Jesus.
I do because I have played a number of Slender Man games. Okay. And they're freaky and creepy as shit. One of my favorite podcasts, horror podcasts, is the Black Tapes, and the very first episode has a Slender Man character in it, and it really disturbed me. And that was in audio, and here's a character that doesn't talk, and I'm listening in audio, and I'm freaked out by it. Anything that steals children. I mean, just all you got to do is really focus on the original lore that Knudsen was inspired by to create Slender Man, and really pull from some of that. Like really pull from some of that and have some fun. And the truth of the matter is, I said, I think if they would have done a rated R film like they wanted to, given us some better scenes, made the Slender Man face look better, I think it could have been an all right film. Like
I don't think, man.
It's hard for me to dislike horror films.
Yeah,
obviously. I know. And I did not like this at all.
Yeah, I just don't know. You would have to. And I know that they want to keep his backstory ambiguous and, a mystery and stuff. But man, you gotta add some background, I think, in order for them to make us. Jesus Christ. You don't have to fucking map out every little detail.
Like, how many times have we seen Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man's fucking origin? Yeah. Why have we seen that 40,000 fucking times in every goddamn film they're in, yet we don't see Slender Man's? Yeah. Like, we don't get a real backstory for Slender Man, the guy that needs it?
Well, yeah, and I mean, just give Slender Man something. It was
literally 5 seconds.
Say he's like maybe hint that he's like some kind of extraterrestrial
or some fucking ancient god or jinn,
something.
Like the only thing that really stood out in that 10 seconds of history on Slender Man was Pied Piper of Hamelin, I guess, because that's the only piece I'd never heard before.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, they didn't really do anything, like, because they wanted to show their little video clips, which, were good, but but I really do. But is it going to happen now? No, because there's been a couple other Slender Man films that had lower of a budget that are even more awful. And then, of course, you've got the Beware the Slender Man movie, which is really, really good, but it's really not about Slender Man. I mean, it's like, it's really about those girls. So
is it a documentary?
It's a docu-film.
Okay.
I mean, it's actors. It's
okay.
It's really good.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a good film. I mean, and these girls, they play the hell out of the 2 girls that did this. They do really well. Because I did watch a documentary, because there is a documentary, I think it's on Netflix, that's about Slender Man and the stabbings and stuff. And then after that was done, I watched the movie, and they did an excellent job. And the director did a really good job of literally filming similarly the way like the police cams were set up in the interrogation rooms, because all that shit's public because they got convicted, so they're in jail, so it's all public. And they did a really good job recreating those where she's yelling and screaming at the camera when no one's in there, and just craziness, dude. It's really good. It's really, really good. But anyways, so I don't even think we need to rate this film because
I was gonna add. No, I just want to rate it just because it pisses me off so much. So I'm first.
I'm gonna give it a 0.1 star because I liked the spider scene. I thought that was cool. That's it though.
I'm giving it half a star, just because that makeout scare made me laugh so hard.
And that's not one of the was supposed to be.
I know that's one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. So
I will say, because we've reviewed it and I invested time in it, if they decide to release a director's cut or an extended cut where they put in the old scenes, because again, here's now an IMDb where they're saying they removed many scenes from the final cut. I will check it out again because I felt like there was a good script hiding in there.
I don't know.
I'll watch it for you so you don't have to.
Okay, I can do that.
Yep. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it about Slender Man.
And with that, dear friends, we come to the end of another delightfully disturbing episode of Misters of the Dark. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you to the FearScape Media Network. And thank you to Corey Adams and Ashley Jones Adams from Nothing Wrong for our musical theme.
Oh God, Lance! Oh God, Lance! It's skinny, sexy, slender guy! Oh God, it's him! He's here!
Don't worry, Stefan. I believe I found a suitable replacement.
But Lance, it's only me and you here.
Stefan, don't ask questions. Now, if you'll excuse me. Oh, Menard!
Oh God, no.
Oh my, I'm so happy to be back on the show. I'm certainly not going to let you fellows down. No, sir.
It's very nice to see you too, Menard.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Lance, can I talk to you for a second? Just over here in the corner. We'll be right back, Menard. It's just, we're going to turn around for a second. Didn't we watch him die?
Shut up, Stefan. Now, Menard, there's a gentleman I think you are going to get along with famously. He may seem a little intimidating at first, but...
Oh, I just love meeting new people. Maybe I can even show them the taco dance. You spread the cheese, and this...
Oh, I'm sure he'll love it.
Yes, he is. He's gonna love it. He needs some meat on his bones. Oh, man. Oh, Lance, thank you. But before we go, dear friends, I will leave you with this. There is no weight limit on beauty. Good night!
You spread the cheese, and this...
Problem solved!